Do you want me to look at it?
Join us now, Daniel Bernard, who's now the press officer at Matchroom. He's taking over from Anthony Lever. You've been there, what, about a year now?
Yeah, just over a year now.
So what gave you the inclination to join Matchroom?
Obviously, I've been working in boxing for around 2.5 years beforehand with Frank Warren. I had a brilliant time there. I really enjoyed my experience. I cut my teeth with Richard Maynard, who a lot of people in the boxing media will know. Had a brilliant time there, and obviously Anthony Lever went out to New York to head up our US media, and obviously the opportunity arose to apply at Matchroom Boxing. And it excited me, the move. Obviously they're making big moves into America, the UK stable. It's exciting times to be involved with Matchroom Boxing. So I jumped at the chance. Obviously I had that experience, so I suppose I was a kind of attractive option in that sense, that I'd kind of hit the ground running. But like you say, been over there a year now, worked on countless big fights in the UK and America, and it's going great, really enjoying it.
The benefits of being a press officer in boxing?
I'd say the travel, number one. I've been to places that I wouldn't have gone to if I wasn't working in boxing. I went to America for the first time to cover Liam Smith against Canelo at the AT&T Stadium. So, what a stadium out there. Been to Quebec, Canada, New York, obviously Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. These are places that I'd never thought that I'd get to travel to. So, it opens a lot of doors. Obviously, the people you meet within the boxing circles, the fighters themselves. You've got the, some of the journalists, Jeff Powell, Ron Lewis. It's great to be around these guys, and I'm constantly learning and picking up things off them. I'm still only fairly young. I might not look at these days with the bags under my eyes, but I think I got into boxing straight out of university when I was 22, 23. Started working as an assistant to Richard Maynard at Queensbury Promotions. So I've kind of been like learning on the job. I did a journalism degree at university, but I don't really think anything prepares you, for when you do come along to these big press conferences. The fight week, there's a lot of pressure. Everyone wants to work with Eddie. Everyone wants to work with the fighters. So it's just making sure everyone gets what they want, and obviously, the fights and the shows get the publicity that they need to be a success.
And the downside of working in being a PR?
I wouldn't say there's many downsides. I think you need to be prepared to work long, unsociable hours. I know my fiance's, she's probably not too pleased most of the time when you're working these late nights and working away from home a lot. But yeah, I wouldn't really say there's many downsides. Just I suppose the long hours. But what job is there these days that's 9 to 5? I think if you're passionate about something and you want to be successful, then you need to be prepared to put in the hours. And that's the advice I'd give to any kind of young media guys or PR guys wanting to get into this field of work, because you get a lot of people asking about it, but I don't think they're quite prepared for the hours and the kind of the graft that you do have to be putting in. But yeah, I'd say there's not many downsides to what we do. You might moan about the workload and the stress and whatnot every now and again, but at the end of the day, what a job. We get to rub shoulders with the likes of Anthony Joshua, fight on these mega fights out in New York, Madison Square Garden. So it's a privilege.
There's many bugbears, but obviously now with the people with social media, you get guys with little cameras who think they're press and media. Is that a big bugbear for you?
I wouldn't say it's a bugbear. Obviously, with the way media's going now, a lot of it is going online. So I think Eddie especially sees the advantage of giving his time to these people. It does pose difficulties in the press conference setup. It's like you say, we want to give, when we can, we try and give everyone individual time with the fighter or the promoter. Obviously, sometimes you don't have the time to do that. So obviously managing a lot of the YouTube channels, there seems to be YouTube channels bursting onto the scene every week. So it's just about making sure everyone gets what they need and managing that time at the press conference, because although these guys come along to the press conference and they're invited to film the whole press conference, obviously Eddie's Q&A with the fighter or whoever it is up on the top table, they then want their own one-on-one time on top of that. And I think the difficulty lies in a lot of these guys are asking the same questions over and over, which isn't a huge problem. But what I would say, if you want to be recognised and kind of stand out from the crowd, maybe take your questions away from the generic ones that will be asked at the actual press conference.
So what fights are you looking forward to? I'm saying obviously now, I'm getting in the habit of following you and Coogan saying obviously.
Yeah.
They've got to fight Ruiz against Joshua in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, what an experience and what a setting. I've seen a few of the plans for it, and it looks like an unbelievable location. It's a World Heritage Site, sand dunes. It's something that I've never been involved in. I've never been to the Middle East, so I'm looking at it as a huge opportunity to go somewhere. Like I say, I would have never probably gone out to that place if it wasn't for boxing. So, obviously that's the big rematch everyone's looking forward to. August 31st, what a card. It's probably one of the best cards I've been involved with at Matchroom. Top of the bill, you've got pound for pound #1 Lomachenko. He's going in with Luke Campbell to be the #1 lightweight in the world. It's a huge challenge for Luke, but he's got that amateur Olympic pedigree, both gold medalists, and he might pull off one of the biggest upsets. I know the odds are against him, but he's got the home advantage. He's got a great trainer in Shane McGuigan, so I'm sure they're confident in their abilities. You've got Hughie Fury against Povetkin. He's signed with us and he's gone straight into a huge fight with Povetkin. So like Eddie said, he's got a big pair of balls to go straight into a big fight like that. I'm really intrigued. Obviously, Povetkin's been out the ring for about a year now. Hughie Fury, we've seen him go to away territory. He's fought Parker, fought Pulev, and he's still only young. That's what people forget. He's been in these hard fights and he's only young, so he can only get better. So I'm really excited to see how Hughie does with Matchroom.
Oh, brilliant, Dad. As a short interview, we're not like our film London, take half an hour, but maybe one day we'll do an interview at the end of a fight night.
Yeah,
where you're really stressed.
I'll be really stressed.
And see how it all turns out.
I have bigger bags than this I have at the minute.
Daniel, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No worries, Eric. Cheers.